Welcome back in with King Family to another F1 Clash video, and it's time for the Spanish Legendary event where we're going to be seeing two featured legendary drivers, and we see Isaac Aja being featured as well. And then we have two parts, the slick shift and the pivot, there being featured. All right, so we're going to be jumping into this event here. Game saying that we can go up to contenders, but I don't think we have the amount of power unit to get the team score to get a good run in contenders. So we're going to go back down to challengers. Maybe the next event we will be able to go up into contenders if I could get a good grip on the coins. I spend a good amount of my coins on upgrading stuff. So we're going to jump into contenders. We're going to set the car up and jump into our first race here. All right, so let's see. The first race for the qualifying event is going to be at Spain, and it's cornering and tire management. So we're going to get our car all set up, and then we'll jump into our first race. Let's go. Here we go for our first race. We're all set up. Let's see where we qualify. And what we could do here, we have our Antonelli and our Bearman. Alright, so it's going to be 4 laps. So we're going to go for tires and cornering boost. I have the I want something that gives me more cornering than tires. November is pretty good. Let me go with that, and for Beerman we're gonna go with the same thing, Prince. Started off on the soft tires here, so we could split up strategy. I wanted to get the race start in there, so we'll go with the Prince for the race start and the cornering. Not so much the extra tire management. Alright, so we're up to P1 with our Antonelli, and we're up to P4 with our Beerman. Both of them should be able to do 3 laps on the softs. We're going to go 3, then we're going to come back to mediums. And look at that, they're nice and close to each other, which we really don't want. Let's boost off Antonelli, see if he could hold. No, he could not, as the rival boosts away there. Beerman looks more aggressive than our Antonelli here. Let's team order our Beerman in front of our Antonelli, and then we'll just cruise with our Antonelli for the most. Charge up some power unit with Beerman. I want to create a little bit of a gap between both drivers. This is why I'm not pushing them too extremely hard, because I want to create that little bit of a gap. So when they go to pit, they come back out nice and clean. So we did 3, we're going to do 4, and then we're going to come back for 3, 4, and come back for 3. We can boost in or Beerman from there, and just let Antonelli continue to cruise on in. Alright, 1, 2, few seconds lost, so not a lot. So we should be jumping P11. There we go. Back in front. Looking pretty good. Alright, so now we're going to go for 4 laps on our mediums, as we do a 3-4-3 strategy here. Rival on his mediums should be going to pit now. We are going to let our power unit charge up a little bit, so we can boost down the straight. And we're going to hit that, and then we're going to boost right from there. Hit boost, and boost right from there. And cut that down, as we want to get 4 laps out of these drivers here. And yet they're still a bit close. You see Antonelli catching up to Beerman here. But they should have a nice little gap in between to not stop when we go to pit. Where is that power unit? I guess the track is shorter than the time the power unit DRS takes to recharge. The track is a little bit shorter than the time that DRS takes to come back around, so we lost DRS on that track, on that lap there. We could go DRS down here, and then we'll just lose out on the main. I prefer to get it on the main straight here. Both driver is nice and close, so we'll hit DRS there. And hit DRS there. Looking good so far. We're going to go back to pit now for the soft tires. Looking nice. Rival Haja. My Haja is still at level 1. I'll probably have to level him up to see how he performs. But I'm a bit low on coins, so I spend a lot to upgrade. Upgrade is very expensive. Upgrading stuff is very expensive in the game, especially when they reach up to the higher levels. Right now, one of the brake, the suspension on this car that I'm running right now needs to be upgraded, and the amount of coins is 13 million to upgrade it to level 7, and it's a common. So the upgrade prices is crazy. Also, the prices for the crates in the shop, crazy. I don't know if it's because the season has just begun, why Hutch is selling a 10x crate for 8,300 bucks. You get 8,500 bucks for $100. So at this point, they're selling one 10x crate for $100 to be selling at 8,300 bucks. I think that's a bit extreme. The first offers were like 6,000 something, and I think they were gonna keep the offers somewhere about there, but to 10,000, man, that's crazy. But 8,300 for a 10x crate is just crazy to me. I don't know if I've played. I'm too old school in the game, I guess. Because I used to play when the crate offers were 3,000 bucks for 10x crate. Oh my god, those were the good old days, I would guess. Let's see if we. Alright, so we managed to hold P4, P8 in this one for 38 points. Let's take a quick look at the rival. So we had a higher team score. Let's see, the rival opted to do the basically similar strategy to ours. There we go. He's running both drivers, a level 4 Haja with a level 2. Oh, okay, that's looking good. And look at that car. So how come this rival just beat us? We had, I guess he had the 10% buff assets, I guess. So I guess the 10% buff assets give him the advantage. So we might have to consider upgrading or 10% assets and see what we could do with them. Yeah, let's jump into our next race. Here we go for our next race at Baku. And so we didn't manage, I don't have the coins to do the upgrades for the 10% drivers at all. Plus I don't have the legendary one, so we can't get them done. Alright, so we're gonna go for the medium and the softs. We're gonna go for speed and overtaking. Unstoppable looking good here, so we're gonna go unstoppable for 1, and then we're gonna go tire management. I should go to tire management with Antonelli. Yeah, that little extra tire management for Antonelli there. Alright, let's go. And we're going up against a real player here, so we're going to give him a little bit of a good look. So we didn't pick up any position at the start, now we've picked up 1. picked up 2, lost back 1. See if we can squeeze up to P2. Yes, we can. The rival on the soft tires has already caught up to our Bearman here. We're going to cut him down there as we go to cruise for now. Now we want to do 4 laps with Bearman and then come back for the medium tires to go to finish. While we want to do 4 laps as well with or Antonelli. But we're going to go 3 with Antonelli and come back to the hards to go for 4. Do the one-stop strategy here. Alright, we're going to use our power DRS down the straight, so we're going to save it through these corners. And we'll use it down the main straight where it's mostly effective. So we go overtaking, hard tires overtaking the softs. One thing I've noticed, I don't see a major, I have not seen a major correlation to the softs and the medium tires or the hard tires this season. It all just looks the same. They all just operate the same. In some sense, you'll see a driver on a hards and you'll be on the softs and you'll get stuck behind them. And then you'll see drivers on the softs, you'll be on the hards getting stuck as well. So it's interesting. Alright, so we're going to aim for 4 with our Antonelli here. So we're going to boost him down into pit. And so our Bearman is going to go around for another lap. So once his DRS is active, we're going to activate that DRS and just let him go around. Then we're going to put in the go to pit orders to come back to the mediums as our Antonelli is back out in P6. Nice drive from our Antonelli there. And everybody in front of him should be going to pit, so he should pick up back P1. So it's a matter of now getting our Bearman to have a little bit of a distance and then get into pit. And so he has a nice little gap to P2 there. So he should be in and out really, really quick. We're gonna hit our DRS here with our Antonelli. As our Bearman is in pit, Antonelli should pick up back onto P1, and let's see if he can get back out in at least P3, P4 is where he's back out. Right, and he has softs and hard tires in front. He should be able to catch those and close the gap, and we could just use DRS down the straight and manage to pick up P2 for our Bearman here. I think P2 is going to go to pit. I think both of them should go to pit as well. So let's just boost our Bearman here and then hit that DRS, and he should pick up at least P3 and then close the gap to P2. Ooh. So the George Russell has picked off our Kimi Antonelli as well, as he's going to go around and go into pit this lap. As for Piastri, he should go to pit as well. So Russell and Piastri should go to pit here, leaving us to get P1, and we should have both drivers with DRS going down the main straight as those guys go to pit. Alright, so it's going to be our final DRS pull, final DRS pull. Those two go into pit, so we should be able to create a nice little gap to them as they're in pit and as we go around. There we go, beautiful. So awesome 1-2 for us here. Simple 4-3-3-4 strategy for our drivers. One thing I've always say, whenever you use a boost with power unit, you would expect that that driver with the power unit boost should recover a lot faster than the driver without the power unit boost. But for the most times, it doesn't happen that way. They both always seems to equal out when it comes to the power unit. So sometimes it leads me to wonder if having a good amount of power unit or not does it really matter, because they both recover at the same time. You could try it for yourself. Use a boost with extremely high power unit and use the second driver with even low boost, and you'll see that they're going to be recovering at the same rate. So it leads to wonder if it does make a difference. Alright, so Hajar there doesn't have the qualifying stats. He doesn't have good qualifying. He has everything else over or Antonelli, but he doesn't have the qualifying stats uh, to our Antonelli. So Antonelli is going to always out qualify Hajar in this event. It's a matter of if Hajar can catch up to Antonelli in passing throughout the race. Let's jump into the next one. Here we go for our next race. We're on Singapore for this one. One of my least favorite tracks this season is Singapore because there's not a lot of room to use up your DRS. And we see Doan and Hajar here. There's not a lot of room to use up your DRS at all. So it's power unit and race start. So we're going to go with, I want something that gives me cornering and race start. So I'm going to go with the Prince Boost for both my drivers. Prince Boost. Since Behrman is in the back, we should go with the couple for Behrman. Give him some extra overtaking. We should have given Antonelli a little extra on the overtaking side. Well, let's go. Because he's normally stuck. Behrman normally gets the overtaking done. It's normally Antonelli who's normally stuck in a block. Right, so a good overtake there from our Antonelli, moving up to P2, Behrman up to P7. Can Antonelli squeeze P1 before we cut down? Can he? No, he cannot, so we're going to cut down here. And then we're going to give back some support as Antonelli squeezed into P1, Behrman moving up to P5. Make sure we're boosting around that corner, picking up to P4 with our Behrman, and we're just going to cut him down there. Alright, so we're going to cruise for now. We're at P1, P3. I want to keep that distance 1 to 2, so 2 laps. We're going to be going to pit on lap 2, which is this lap coming up. We don't want Behrman too close, so we're not going to use his DRS to close down P2. We're just going to cruise for now. Keep that gap going. Alright, keeping that gap going. Nice little gap as we charge with our Antonelli. We should charge with Behrman as well, since we have that nice little gap to P4. We could just cut down and let him allow P2 to go and pick up some power unit. And then we'll just boost our Antonelli into pit. And we save 2 seconds. So we only lost 1.72 seconds to our Behrman. And he's back out in P3. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. And we've saved up a little bit of power unit. Now we're going to use up that DRS to go catch up to P2 with our Behrman. Closing down that gap. Then we're just going to cut down that power unit right there. Alright, so looking good. We have a nice little gap. We want the Behrman to be nice and tight, close to P2. You don't want him to drop too far back from P2 at all. So we keep going. Alright, let's begin to go to pit quarters for the final pit stop. And we want to attack Behrman here. Let's use a DRS, see if we can close the gap to P2. A little bit late for the DRS there. Should have saved it. And we'll put in his go to pit quarter. See if we can squeeze by P2. We're in front on the corner. He should leave some space. And there we go, closing him down. Alright. So we're gonna go to pit. We're gonna use our DRS that we have saved up. We're just going to boost our Antonelli from here to create a little bit of a distance. Ooh, P2 retaken. Alright, P2. It's alright. And we're going to fight. We're not going to just allow you to cruise around. We're going to attack. Let's see if we can squeeze. Alright, so we're in pit. So we have the DRS to attack. Perfect pit stop. See if we could get the jump on P2. Did we? Yes, we did. We did get the jump on him. Great stop there from our Beerman. Now is when we're going to just use now that DRS to extend that little gap on P2 there, giving our Beerman a nice, comfortable race to run. All right. So we're looking good. Looking good. We could charge with our Antonelli some power unit so we could just boost him around. He's in P1 so he won't get access to DRS. Beerman, on the other hand, will have access to that DRS. And we'll just use that DRS now on our Beerman to create some more distance to P3. Looking nice, closing the gap down to P1 as well. We're going to boost P1 from here as he has a full power unit, so he can just boost all the way home. And let's just boost our Beerman as well from there. Looking good. Alright, so we're looking good so far. We're going to jump into the final race. Hopefully I have enough space, hopefully. As whenever I go over 3 races, you know what, I'm just going to end it right here. I don't want this file to get corrupted at all. Whenever I go over 3 races, it's a risk, as the file got corrupted once. Last week, Wednesday, I think it was, so I don't want the same thing to happen this week, so we're just going to end the race, end the video here on race 3. As for race 4, let's take a look at the debriefing, then we'll look at race 4 and I'll say, give you guys an idea on strategy you could use for race 4. Alright? Alright, there we go. Nice, 47 points. Don't really like Singapore that much. This track is just too tight, you know. There we go. Rival had the better Haja, but his qualifying stats is crazy bad. So I'll stay away from Haja for the event. Alright. So that's basically going to be it for this one. Let me know down in the comments how you guys are doing in your event. We're going to take a quick look now at the debriefing. At the next race, I should say. There we go. So it's speed and it's Miami. Speed and defense is going to be the strategy. So it's simply I think it's 8 laps at Miami. So a regular 3-3-2 or 2-3-3 with one driver, 3-3-2 with your other driver should work for Miami. All right, and just use the speed boost with race start or power unit, whatever you could use from there. All right, so that's basically going to be it for this one. Remember to smash the like button if you haven't already done so. Subscribe to the channel if you're not yet subscribed for more F1 Clash content, as we are back this season and we'll be making videos all season long. All right, and remember the season has just started, so you don't need to rush too much. All right, you can just take your time and play along. All right, so that's basically going to be it for this one. I'll catch you guys in the next one.